Hello, friends. How are you doing? Good morning. I'm up for the day. I don't work till later today. I just have to make an appearance. I'm just making up 4 hours that I missed the other day, which, excuse me, how rude of me to start a video with a yawn. Okay, so what had happened was, let me explain. I haven't told you guys what happened. So my son has been getting in trouble at school. Of course he would, right? Of course he would. And I got a phone call the other day talking about my son and his behavioral problems, right? I've discussed here that he has ADHD and he be wilding out, okay, sometimes. But some boy in his class, they wrestle with each other. So I'm not going to say it's one. I'm sure my son partakes in the bullying, like the picking on each other. So he it is. This is his friend, okay, but they be getting into it, okay. They be beefing every week, and I'm about fed up with it. I really am. So I get a phone call from you know at work, um, and it was the principal talking about your son, my son, right? And so, you know, talking about like he got into a little altercation, a little scuffle, with a little boy. I guess their little, wrestling, their little, I don't know, they were like playing or whatever, turned into wrestling, turned into your mama jokes, okay? How I got dragged into this, I have no idea. I was literally minding my own business, okay? And so this other little boy called me a name, and my son didn't like it. So he defended his mama, okay? Even though I told him not to be defending me, mama can defend herself. And I was like, this little boy, because we've had this same discussion last week when the little boy called me a name last week, okay? And I said, son, and he gets very, my son is very protective over his mama, okay? And he he didn't like when he I forgot what he called me last week, this little boy. But this week he called me something else. And I asked him, I said, do you call his mama any names? And he's like, no, because he knows you're not supposed to disrespect adults. So he's like, no, of course not. So I believe him when he says that. So, I love a your mama joke. Okay. I always, and it's always my joke whenever I'm like, I always say your mama or it's like whenever, like, I'm just joking around. I don't mean it like mean, like it's your mama or go play with your mammy. Like I'll say that a lot. Okay. So this little boy called me a name. Okay. And my son got pissed off and he defended my honor. And I told him, son, this little boy has never seen me. He doesn't know what I look like. So he's just saying, he doesn't mean me. He's just in general, like just saying like your mom, like it's a joke, okay? But he gets, I guess the little boy knows he's gonna get mad. So anyway, long story short, I had to go straighten that shit out at school, okay? And I had to talk with my son. I said, look, son, I'm not going to be coming from all the way over there from Los Madres de los Burros, like my mom says, every time you're going to be defending me. Like, no, you need to just walk away and avoid any confrontation with any people. People are going to talk shit all the time. I was like, people talk shit about me on a daily basis. It doesn't bother me. It shouldn't bother you. Okay. Especially this little boy, he doesn't even know who I am. He's just generally saying your mama. Um, so there's no need to get upset, right? Just leave it alone. So, um, on Jazzy's channel, her daughter had, an altercation with a little girl, and Kaylin called her a bad word, right? And got busted, and for that, But that was how that's how Kaylin was defending herself against this little girl who was picking on her, right? And when you know Jasmine was asking her about it, she kind of like told her daughter like, "Well, why did you lie and say you didn't call her a bad word?" Okay, one thing I have learned, because when I was younger, I used to lie a lot. I used to lie on anything, just 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 because like I had really no reason to lie. Like little white lies turned into big lies. One thing I have taught my son, which he will not lie. And I always tell him, do not lie for me. Do not lie for your dada. Do not, you tell the truth, okay? Because that's a really, really bad habit to get into. Because, especially if you're like an authority figure to your child and you're the one that your child is depending on, it's not wise to do that. Okay. And anytime I've busted my son in lies, he's gotten in trouble. Like, I don't tolerate lies. I don't, because it's a really bad habit to break. And I know that because of my own personal experience. And I made a conscious decision a long time ago that I was no longer going to be lying. No, not even little white lies. Like if somebody wants me to go somewhere or invites me somewhere, I'm not going to say yes just to shut them up and say, look, I don't like leaving my house. Like I'll tell them straight up, just like that. Um, because for a long time, like I was getting invited places, I would make shit up all the time. I would make stuff up all the time, just because I didn't want to go, you know. And I'm not going to do that anymore. And actually, nowadays I do accept invites nowadays, but back in the day, when I was more closed off, I would make up lies. Or I would be that friend until I got a friend like this, then I stopped doing it. Okay. I used to lie and say, yeah, I'll be out there. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Yeah, I'm down the street and never show up. I was that friend. I was that friend. I totally was until I got a friend like that. And oh my gosh. They swore they were always down the damn street and they would never make it. And I was like, wow. So that's how it feels. Yeah. So it's wise just to, and bullying, I could speak from experience as an adult bullying. I was getting bullied on the internet for months and months and months. Okay. um and it's hard, especially when you know there was no validity with what was being said about me. But the best thing, and that's the advice I give my son, is just to ignore it. Whatever is said behind your back, because nobody brought this stuff to me. I heard this stuff from other people. Nobody came to my face and said, look, bitch, I don't like you. I think you're X, Y, and Z. Nobody did that. So I should have just ignored it. Me personally, myself, if I have an issue with somebody, which these days I don't have an issue with anybody, but in the past, when I've had issues with people, I tell them to their face. I don't say anything about people that I can't tell them to their face. And if you can only say things behind people's back, then you're a coward. If you have an issue with me, tell me. Tell me what's wrong. Tell me what I did to you. Tell me what I did to piss you off. I'd rather know than not, or hear from somebody else. I'd rather hear from the horse's mouth than from some bitch off the street. Because it pisses me off when I have to hear things third party or see things, like text messages, third party. Or messages or messenger, whatever, wherever people were talking shit about me. I don't like hearing from a third party. That is the one thing I loathe. I loathe it. Okay. Because more than likely, I've asked the person to tell me, just be honest with me, because I don't want to hear it from somebody else, because that's going to piss me off even more. Hearing from somebody else and seeing proof from somebody else that you said this about me after I've asked you for months and months and months, are you doing this? Did you say this about me? Are you telling this person this about me? And you look at me, blatantly lie to my face and tell me no. And then months and months later, somebody comes and shows me that I was right all along. Oh, I dislike that. I was gonna say I hate that, but hate's a strong word. But I really dislike that because you lied to my face. Not only did you backstab me and talk shit about me, but when I asked you and I brought it to your attention, you looked at me and lied to me for months. You looked at me, smiled in my face, and said you didn't do anything, when all along you did. Yeah, I do not like that. I don't like that because why couldn't you just say you did it? Like, and it's not a, oh, I'm right and you're wrong. It's just, it's the principle. You, if you say you love me and you care about me, you know, why would you continue to lie to me? That shows me that you didn't, that you still don't care about me. You still don't give a fuck about me because you don't care to tell me the truth. Okay? So, that's going to be a huge problem. And I feel that coming up soon. So, I know that's coming up soon. I already know. I've been calling it for months. I'm like, I already know somebody's going to come to me and give me that missing piece that I've been waiting for. And I'm trying to mentally prepare myself so I don't go backwards in my healing journey. Because even though I know I'm right about the situation, we have to learn to be balanced. Can't be emotional. And we just have to take it as a lesson, you know? Take the lesson and move on. You know what I mean? So I think that's why everything happens when it's supposed to happen. Okay, so that's how I just know everything that I predicted about a certain situation. I know I'm right about it, and this person has looked me in the face and said, "No, mm-mm, that's wrong." I just feel it. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but lying is a bad, very bad habit, and it's we have to teach our children not to be not to be lying and to be truthful no matter what the repercussions are, because that's your that anytime you lie you no matter who it hurts, you have to be honest, just to break that cycle of lying, because that is, I mean, once you get into a web of lies, you get into a web of lies. Okay, so we have to teach our children to be truthful no matter who it hurts, because once your kid starts lying, like, this is it. Like, you can't really trust them for anything, and we don't want that. We want open communication with our children. Anyways, so I just wanted to share that with you. Bye bye now.